A very good afternoon and welcome to Nove, Mesto, Nove in the Czech Republic for continuation of the Biathlon World Championships. It won't be quite as fast and spectacular as the downhill, but this will be every bit as exciting. The men's pursuit is the first race coming up today, and the two biggest names in the sport go off just 8 seconds apart. Emil Svensson, winner of the sprint, ahead of Martin Fourcade, the world #1. Well, there's the programme for today and the coming days. Of course, 2 days off after today. That will be a rare luxury for the athletes as far as their season goes. The individuals coming up on Wednesday for the women, and then the men go on Thursday. The relays at the end of the week, and Mike, the climax of the championships, the mass starts on the final Sunday.
Mass starts, that's just like everything that's been in the 10 days before. The match-ups on the same start line. That is going to be a fantastic way to finish the championships.
Well, there's lots to come before then, and of course Mickey Grice has been working with us throughout the week. Let's see what he has to say about today's race.
Schwierig, also hoffen.
He's saying it's going to be very, very difficult. So I think he's referring to Germany's chances of winning medals. He says you only give up when you cross the line. But he says Svensson and Fourcade were on fantastic form in the sprint. Fourcade didn't take quite as many risks when it came to the shooting, and he thinks that that's where the 8-second gap appeared between the two great athletes. Says Fak was also good, and Oleana Bjorndalen, the comeback man who's prepared especially for this World Championships. Malishko, Ustigov, the two Russians are very, very strong. In terms of the Germans, he says we can't hope that those big names are going to make mistakes, because it's incredibly difficult to close the gap that you've given away in the sprint, and he thinks it's almost going to be impossible for Germany to get onto the podium today. But they will hope. Yeah, he's not full of optimism. Germany yet to claim a medal at these championships. Extraordinary, Mike. They're missing Magdalena Neuner.
They are, and Eric Lesser, though, starting today in 12th position, 49 seconds behind. He needs to hit all the targets for a potential podium.
Welcome back to Nove Mesto. Once again, the stadium 99% full, a fantastic turnout of the locals here, and I should think at least 80% have come from the Czech Republic. Norwegians, Russians, and of course the Germans in evidence. The French are here now with the success that they've had so far, already claiming 2 silver medals, but demoted to 3rd in the medal table thanks to the performances of Ukraine yesterday in the sprint, where they claimed a gold and a bronze. Well, Martin Fourcade was on very good form yesterday. The only thing he did wrong was draw the wrong bib number, because he started exactly 2 minutes in front of this man, Emil Svensson, the man who did so much to give Norway their first gold in the mixed relay. He was on flying form again. He said he didn't feel that well in the mixed relay, but he certainly looked to be in great shape yesterday. Martin Fourcade, 5 out of 5 in the pro, no mistakes at all, and recording the fastest time at the first interval. Svensson knew what he had to do. He came in 1 second down. He took that little bit less time to prepare for the first shot, and he went out with a significant margin. The second lap, the two men skied at virtually exactly the same pace, just 1 second faster for Svensson. A mistake from Martin Fourcade. Well, many thought that would put him off the podium, but no, he's so strong on the final lap that he was able to come through. Svensson also missing on the last shoot, and exiting the range after his penalty, just 10 seconds clear of the Frenchman. 23:33 put Fourcade into the lead at the end of his run. 24 seconds inside Anton Chapulin of Russia, who gets a very good start today in the pursuit. And Svensson maintaining 8 seconds of the 10-second lead that he had to do enough and claim his second gold medal at the championships. The perfect day, he says. Of course he's happy. He's only had 1 win prior to this so far this season.
It should be a fun race.
And he's the sort of athlete that only comes to win. Can he do it again and make it 3 in a row? It's going to be a tough job. Martin Fourcade said he only wanted one gold. Maybe it will be tough. Yeah, he's saying he's on good form. He gave absolutely everything to try and catch Svensson, but it wasn't to be. But I think, having watched the first two races of the men's, Martin Fourcade has just conserved a little bit of energy for the pursuit today. But watch out for Jakob Falk. My goodness, he's the man for the big moment. And Ole Einar Bjorndalen looking for major championship medal number 50. Is he going to do it today? He's already won this title 5 times, and today it would be an immense achievement if he managed to do it at the age of 39. Ole Einar Bjorndalen, 23.45, only 19 seconds outside that gold medal. One more hit and it would have been his.
I feel good and still motivated, so I'm really happy to be in good shape again.
Not too many mistakes today. One mistake.
No, one mistake is okay. It was quite difficult condition. I shooting really good in brown shooting. There was a lot of wind and I do the right decision, so that was really cool.
Your ski was not bad.
My skiing was also good. I was really happy with my ski time today, so I feel good, and it's the first race, so I don't make so much hard training before I come here, so I think I can go faster.
And so you are finished with Norwegian for Spain?
Yeah, I think so. We have a good position now, and Emil will win today. And yeah, we will see. Maybe I can make a good race also on the pursuit.
So Ole Einar, he's fairly positive, Mike. He says he can go faster. He thinks he can hit more targets. If he does, maybe he could win today. But I think a medal will be his goal, and top 3 is certainly possible. Surely one of the leading 3 will make a mistake at some stage.
I think so. I think when you've got Svensson and Fourcade side by side, they're both standing on each other's patch. They want to own that crown, and that is going to take them to a different level once again today. They both want this gold medal so much, and I think that's their undoing on the shooting range.
Well, we'll see if that is the case. Martin Fourcade has looked particularly cool this year when it's come to the head-to-head races, the mass start and the pursuits. Svensson has been found wanting a little, but he looked brilliant in the sprint yesterday. Well, let's not forget the rest of the field. The top 3 we know about. Bjorndalen we know about, starting number 4, only 19 seconds off the leaders. Malishko goes 5 for Russia. Alexei Berth, the little Frenchman who's produced some absolutely tremendous runs so far, he goes number 6. And Anton Chapulin, who won the last of the pursuits in Antolz Anterselva, he starts number 7, ahead of Freddie Lindstrom, who was the 3rd fastest skier in the sprint yesterday, but he missed 2 targets and that put him out of contention for the medals. Clock chimes. 1 o'clock and we are away, and it's Emil Hegler Svensson who's earned himself an 8-second lead over Martin Fourcade. Now normally, Mike, we wouldn't think that was significant, but it is today, because we've got to see what Fourcade does. You'd think he's going to try and close that gap on the first loop. Jakob Falk will certainly try and stay with the Frenchman, and already those 3 are going head to head, and maybe ignoring the fact that they've got the likes of Bjorndalen, Malishko, Berth, Chapulin, Lindstrom, Ustigov right on their tail.
Do you know, this race is 12.5 kilometres. Martin Fourcade and Falk, they set off as if this was a 1 kilometre race, maybe, but I know they want to close down on Svensson, keep the pressure on Svensson into the first shoot.
Lindstrom and Ustigov setting off pretty much side by side after good performances. Lindstrom is on the form of his life. It would be nice to see the Swedes get on the medal table for the first time. Simon Eder is the best of the Austrians from the sprint, and he starts number 10, ahead of perhaps the best marksman in the field, Krasimir Anev for Bulgaria. Eric Lesser goes for Germany, number 12. Ferry goes 13, and Lukas Hofer of Italy starting 14, ahead of Landertinger. Arndt Pfeiffer just about to get underway for Germany, but already 1 minute 8 seconds behind the leaders, almost 400 metres behind.
It's a huge margin back, but wait, nobody prior to this race that I've been talking to has much expectations for Tarje Bø. I think Tarje Bø, bib 18, he's only 1:14 behind. If he finds his shooting magic, I honestly think he's a contender today.
Well, he starts number 18 and wears bib number 18. Number 19 is Goranichev, and 20 is bib 6, and all 3 men had very respectable ski times in the sprint. If any of those 3 go clear here today, they could easily find themselves in the top 5.
So much so. And an athlete we didn't see much of yesterday, Thomas Kaukinas, 22 from Lithuania. That's his best ever result. His previous best was 41st. He came 20th yesterday.
Well, he's got some pretty distinguished company around him. He's going to struggle to stay in 22nd position, but we'll do our best to track him on the way round. Look at that. Martin Fourcade has closed 8 seconds in the first kilometre. Impressive, but Mike, we've seen already in these championships, there is a price to pay for going off so fast.
It's Svensson being super intelligent, the way he's just calmly taking this pace. He's allowing them to pull back. Faka's got it closed down from 11 to 6.
And Bjorndalen started 19.9 behind. He's pretty much keeping pace. I think Svensson is taking it relatively easy. Bjorndalen, I think that's a sensible pace, Mike. I can't believe Martin Fourcade's done the right thing. It didn't pay off in the mixed relay, and I think it's unlikely to pay off today. But I think what he wants to do is to try and control the race, get in front of Svensson, and then skied at his pace.
There's so much psychology in this, isn't there? So Fourcade put everything out to make sure that he got quickly onto the skis of Svensson. Maybe not to intimidate, but to let him know that he's not going to have an easy ride.
Burf has gained 3 seconds. Shapulin has gained 4 seconds. Ustigov started 38 behind, is now 33, so he's gained 5 seconds already. Lindstrom now 35, having started 38, so he's gained 3. A steady start for Freddie Lindstrom. I think that is sensible, but the leader's heading back down towards the stadium for the first shoot. Remember, the distance is just 12.5 kilometres, so 5 times round the 2.5 kilometre loop, as we saw for the women's. It's fast downhills, Mike, some technical turns. Could be interesting later on.
It will. It's going to break up as we see it become sugary, and we could expect that it will definitely break up by their 3rd, 4th, 5th lap. It's an easier track today, Patrick. Yesterday they skied 3.3 kilometres. Today this 2.5 kilometre track. The profile, I think, allows for those further back to stay closer to the elite skiers like Svensson and Fourcade. I must say, Fourcade is taking a very different descent line, downhill line than Svensson. Just cutting the corners nicely, saving that little bit of energy and carrying his speed out. Now, intimidation. His skis clip the poles of Svensson there. That is irritating. Just letting him know that that his presence is right there with him.
Well, a pretty stiff pace set in the early stages of this race. 2.5 Ks. Mike, what are we looking at? About 6 minutes to complete as those behind start to close up. That's Alexei Burf looking very smooth. He's got a train of Russians behind him. Shapulin, Ustigov, Malishko, all happy to settle for a slightly steadier pace in the early part of this race. Malishko, Mike, do you fancy his chances? He did the double in Oberhof, which is really where he first came to our attention. And he's a man who hated sport as a youngster. He was sent to a sports school by his parents, hated it, but then he found he was quite good, and as soon as you find you're good, you start to enjoy things.
Yeah, his story is an unusual story, to have so much, to really not want to be an athlete when he was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old, but as you say, he had a talent, and then reward becomes self-focusing or focusing on the goal, which is medals, and that's what he's won since then.
Yeah, when he gave it up as a teenager, he went to work in a bank. It wasn't long before he realized which was going to be the most promising and the most rewarding career. Perhaps not financially, but he's doing all right for himself. Promised himself a Bentley after his success in Oberhof. Now, Svensson